Hey, what's up, guys? This is Deacon Lacrosse here, and today I want to go over 5 secrets to improve your alternate picking. Alright, everybody, so secret number 1 is going to be the almighty pick angle. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just setting my hand on the strings and letting basically my hand relax. What I found was when I just relaxed my hand, the pick naturally falls in a position to the string that makes a lot of sense to me. So it's more closer to being parallel to the string, but it's not perfectly parallel. Perfectly parallel will be something like this. I know the angle's a little bit weird here, but I have a small slight angle down this direction, and I'm actually using just the very tip of the pick. It's a little hard to see, but I'm using just the very tip of the pick here, and I'm not doing that large of a motion. You want to keep the motion as small as possible. You don't want to alternate pick all the way up and down to the adjacent strings. That's just too far, and you're going to have all that space, and you're going to start hitting multiple strings, and we don't want that. So we want to keep this here and nice and relaxed. You want to try and just keep this motion here. See how it's nice and relaxed and nice and controlled. Alright, so secret number 2 is going to be synchronization. Now that is the root of basically where alternate picking is going to come from. And what synchronization basically means in simple terms is both hands happen together at the same time. So when you do a roll, that right there is all legato. I had nothing to do with the picking hand, see? Now that is different than when you start introducing alternate picking. You want both notes and the picking to happen at the exact same time. So when you do it, you can hear and you can see that both my hands are hitting the note at the same exact time. And that's going to graduate into doing more strings. Right? That's going to give you that power, and you just have to start slow and work yourself up to that. Don't start by going too fast, because then that's where the sloppiness comes from. So start slow, make sure that every note connects very, very foundationally. So when you hit these, that control is there. You start progressing that slowly forward, and once you start losing that control, then you've found your threshold. Then you start working through that threshold, and you just build higher and higher and higher. So secret number 3, guys, is a little bit of an interesting one. It's something I work really, really hard at, because I truly believe that it is very necessary for this, for the sake of your muscles, your body, and for the sake of your execution too. The 3rd secret is working too hard. Now, what that basically means is you're picking too hard, or you're straining, or you're stressing, or your fretting hands digging into the board too much. And you're just overexerting all of your energy just to try and get this to work. Practice calming down and relaxing. So a good way to figure this out is you go back to the root of basically being a guitar player and learning how hard to press, right? So here's what we do. So you start off by hitting any note, but you don't press down on it. You get like this nasty, gross, like harmonic sound usually, but don't worry about that. So you kind of keep pressing until you find the note, right? Now that is all the more harder you need to press when you're doing high-speed alternate picking. Because if you're pressing too hard, 1, you can actually bend the note through the frets. And 2, that's a lot of exerted energy, and that's going to hurt your wrist eventually. It's just all bad. So when you're getting up to these really, really high speeds, you know, whatever you're doing, This all has to be very minimally done, and it all has to be very controlled, and you have to relax. So just remember that when you're doing this little thing where you're finding just how much pressure to put in, that's the amount of pressure that you would need to do for every note. That's a big deal. Now, you don't want the first note. You're like, okay, cool, the first note's there, and then the rest of the notes are just ridiculous. Do like a 3-note per string thing, just like this pattern here. And now do it without pressing. Right? And then you just will gradually, like I just did there, press in until... until you figure out how much you just barely need to press. I sat down and I practiced keeping my hand as calm as possible. Of course, you have to keep, you know, some kind of attention in it to get these muscles to react. But that's all you need to do, is just to get them to react. So keep an eye on that. Protect yourself. Number 4 is going to be metronome practices and routines. So I just went and I downloaded a metronome. This is a Pro Metronome. Oh, I literally just recorded. So this is Pro Metronome, and this is actually a really good one because all you have to do is just press it here, and you hear that really annoying sound. You can even see the meter moving back and forth. Your alternate picking, both, remember, syncopated, both hands are going to be reacting at the same time that this is now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And be very mechanical about that. Right? Everything happens at the same exact time. This is just at 120 right now. But you have to start at a place where you have all that control that we've been talking about this whole time. And now you gradually raise that speed up until you lose that control. Once you start losing that control, then you know, like I said before, that you've hit your threshold. And that's where you need to work the most. You have to work through the thresholds and raise it constantly. This will keep you on time no matter what. Working with this extensively will start giving you this confidence. You're like, oh, no matter what, I know what speed I can get up to, and I know that I can handle it because I've trained with this metronome, and it's given me that power. Okay, so then number 5 is a little bit of a weird one. It's more mental than anything. So a big thing that made a big difference for me was inspiration and goal setting. So inspiration is what's going to set your goals. So you can find inspiration from a lot of different ways. So don't just pigeonhole, or don't just like keep yourself in a one block narrow-minded thinking. So you can draw inspiration from a lot of different things, even yourself. So keep inspiration in mind, and always look for ways to be inspired. And once you find ways to become inspired and keep yourself inspired, that's going to want to make you progress. Now, small goal setting is a whole lot better than a grand one goal set. So setting like 5 small term goals is a lot more powerful than setting a 10-year long-term goal. You have to be able to reward yourself, and you have to be able to enjoy what you're doing. If you feel like you're not progressing, then you're probably going to feel unhappy, and you're probably not going to be excited to pick up the guitar because you've not gauged your progress the right way. Keep that in mind. Even if you set really small, minuscule goals, honestly, in your head, that's going to give you a lot more rewarded feeling than never hitting a 10-year goal. That's way too much time. So keep it in mind, guys, and keep your inspiration always close to your heart, and keep practicing and keep setting small goals, and it's just going to start happening, and eventually you'll realize that, well, I've progressed so much within the past 6 months. I've hit 5 goals, and I have all this inspiration, all this new music that I'm listening to, and I can't wait to get through all of it and hit more goals. It's a process, and it has to become, you have to work through it. Alright, so I hope that these 5 secrets kind of helped you guys out a little bit. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe, please, if you want to see more content like this. I love talking with you guys. I love hearing what you guys have to say, and ultimately, I love to help. So, thank you again for watching this video, and shred on, guys.